Just warm up your horse, do whatever you want to do, and we're just going to kind of... Good. Okay. You know what? Here's what I'm seeing. This is a typical saddle break. What you're showing me, if you go to a show, if you go to a saddlebred show, this is what you see. That's exactly. So he's doing what he's been trained to do. That's what they look like. Now let's talk about a couple things. But the reiners have done something really interesting. They got them horses using their hind end, even though their horse's nose in the dirt. See, we're coming at getting the horse hind end by elevating the front end. But they did it by getting the horse to be more rounded. If you look at a reining horse, they're much more rounded. They're using their hind end. Most of them, the well-trained horses, the Sean Florida horses, they're using their hind end, and they got that nice round. But what happens is when we start taking our park horses and our dressage horses, when we start elevating, what do? We start hollowing out the back. Okay? So that's why in lower levels of dressage, what are we doing? We're doing lots of long and low. Okay? So I don't really feel comfortable doing a lot of long and low because he's already been, I mean, we could do some long and low with him, get him more rounded, okay? But we can do the same exercise we did, you know, doing the circles, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But I'm going to go back to the drive line. Remember, were you here when I was talking about the drive line? Let's go back to the drive line real quick. A horse, when your horse is going along, there's a drive line. That's where the power, the impulsion comes. When we're walking trot, a power line is right here, right? As we ask for more forward movement, like a trot or something, the drive line, we're riding our horses uphill, right? Okay? So what happens is, when our head goes too far up here like this, when we pull back on our horse's nose, we don't have any downward force. Okay? If my horse, whenever my horse, his nose, see his nose, whenever my nose is above his point of shoulder, I lose the ability to round the horse because I lose control. So when he's above the point of shoulder, when he's above the drive line, and I pull back, when I pull back, I'm going to pull them more this way, right? But how do we get our horses to round if we don't pull? Okay, that's the question. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this horse in a circle. Why am I going to put this horse in a circle? I want to soften up the neck. Remember, your horse has two sides, left side and right side, right? So if I have him straight and I'm pulling back to try to get his head down, I'm pulling on two sides of the horse. So let's take the horse off of balance and get him working on one side of the horse. So we're going to lower his head and round his neck and get him on the vertical by one side at a time. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what I call a suppling exercise. What's a suppling exercise? I'm going to bend him to the left with the inside rein. I ride my horse from back to front, and I soften my horse from front to back. So I'm going to use the inside rein to set the bend, and I'm going to use the outside rein to bring his nose in. Okay? So we're going to do the same exercise Lori just did. Okay? So do the same thing we did, the circle to the left. Left. See, you see there's some similarities to the two horses, right? See how the horse is starting to round at the neck? And see how the horse is starting to come into the vertical? Start? See how that's doing it? This is what I want you to do. Okay? And then go back, go to 11 o'clock. Go to 11 o'clock. See how he raised his head? Go back down to the 10 o'clock. Every time he raises his head, she's going to go back to 10 o'clock and soften that nose, yeah? Go. Then go back to 11 o'clock. There we go. Now see how the neck is starting to round? So we're going to do some circles. So what I want you to do is go in the middle of the circle. And are you okay being in it? Okay. Because both of you are kind of working on the same thing. So, Laura, I want you to just do some circles just like you're doing. You need to work on them anyway. And Char, I want you to watch. I want you to do it, and I also want you to watch Lori at the same time. Because Lori's demonstrating the lesson we just had. So remember we were doing bridal work yesterday, Char? It's the same thing. We're just doing it. We're taking the bridal work, kind of stay over here. Okay. We're doing bridal work, right? We did the bridal work, so now we're transitioning cue number 1 and 2 to the saddle, right? Okay, good. Good. That's what I want to work on. Good. See how you start to round at the neck? Okay. There you go. There we go. Now, use your outside of the rein a little bit to suck that nose in. There you go. Right? Send them forward. Send them right there. See how he's softening? Right there? Now go back to straight. Go back straight. See, isn't Char having the same problem as Lori? As soon as they get to 11 o'clock, the head comes up. So there you go. That looks good, Char, right there. Oh, right there. Now go to 11 o'clock. Oh, see how you went to left? There you go. Go back. There you go. Now go back to straight. Now go back to bend. There you go. Now go back to straight. Now see how the nose popped up when you went to straight? Your goal is to transition and maintain the transition through the transition. Okay? Now go straight. See how the head come up? Now go back to the bend. Good, sir. Good. Now go straight.